See how that is. How's that look? There we go. Four people waiting on me. My goodness, I didn't expect anybody to show up. How y'all doing out there? Can you hear me okay? Is the picture okay? Oh, well, we'll get right started into it, man. We got oh my that thumbnail. That's a little toy I had when I was a kid. I mean, I've had this over 50 years. It's got a little slot in the top. It's a bank, is what it is. So I happened to think about it because last week was the baby's birthday. You look good and sound good. Retirement's underrated. How you doing, boss? I so normal we don't do anything for birthdays. We might go out and get a bite to eat or some bull like that, and that's about it, man. We really don't. The kids will come over. A lot of times my daughter might bring a cake or something. But I think it was last Wednesday, not yesterday, but last Wednesday, I think it was when Buzz had opened his store. So while I was sitting there watching it on his live, I went ahead and ordered a couple things and got her a mug. I tried my darndest to get her to come on here and show it to everybody. I told her she all she had to do was stick her hand around the corner and say, "Thanks, Buzz," but she wouldn't do it. So I figured I'd show it to you. I figured while I was here, I bought me a hat. I think everybody ought to buy a little something from him and take a picture of it and send it to him. I like to be on it and be like Minnie Pearl and keep his label on it. But I like this. I tried to get close to the brown colors as I could out of what he had to offer. But yeah, I think everybody ought to get on something and send it to him. Send a picture of it, of you wearing it or using it to him. Jane P, how you doing? Stuart in flip flops. Dean, how you doing, buddy? I just made it to 100 subscribers. Mentioned a thank you to you and Buzz. Woohoo! I appreciate that retirement. But hey man, you done that all on your own, boss. You'll get there. It's a long, slow process, man. It's as long as you enjoy it, man, that's what I say. Mm. Nice hat. Yeah, I like it too. I like the trucker's hat. Sits a little higher on, and it's got I like the half mesh back. Only time I wear a full mesh back or full cloth back is in the wintertime. Keep my head warm. But I like that. I like that that half that trucker's hat because nowadays it's hard to get these. A lot of people don't sell them. They sell just that form fitting hat. It's like a skull cap with a bill on it almost, and I don't really care for those. But that's me. But that was the reason for showing you the bank this morning. I splurged a little bit last week and spent a little dollar. Hope things are going good for you up in VA. They are. Man, for the most part, man, as well as I can expect anyways. No rush. The community's been supportive. Good. Well, that's good to hear. And most people are, man. You once in a while, there's a lot of bots out there and a lot of spammers, but it's a general rule, man. Most people are decent, man. They really are. It's hard to say that nowadays, but it's the truth. 21, man. That's pretty good since I ain't advertise it. Normally I try to make a video on Monday or remind everybody because I only do one a month, every third Thursday of the month. Just to change things up a little bit and see how people are doing. Down in my last 90 days has been a struggle this year, but I'm okay now. Oh yeah, last 90 days gonna fly by, Doc. So what's that put you at? October, November? Put you retiring sometime in December, don't it? Oh, that'd be good. I guess you'll retire just for Christmas. I guess that'd be good. 1219. All right. I don't know if I got you wrote down or not. I just got Elton. Elton just sent me a email saying he was retiring the 26th of this month, I guess next week. So I put him on the thing. I'd seen a little short he put out here a couple of days ago talking about how much difference a year makes. He was just and he's decided to leave a little early now. Nah, I don't have it. I just went on I went on his website and hit the at the top there they have home and videos and shorts or stuff across the top, but they also have a place for store. And when you click on that, it'll take you to a page where you can go to it. That's the way I went to it. So, oh, but I got the name and everything of the company because they sent me a little thank you note in the mail with that stuff. And this is the laser focused expressions. If you just go to that, I don't know if you'll be able to read the but that's their website too. Laser info at laser no laser focused expressions.com. And he's one of their featured creators that they work with. So up there and never heard of that place before. See where it says it comes from. Yeah, I can't think. I don't see it wrote down here. It's on the shipping label, but I threw that away. Avon Lake or something like that, I believe is the name of it. I never heard of that place. Merry Christmas. Steve, will you give the cow? We'll give you the cowbell. Yes, sir. I sure am. I'm pretty sure I got you wrote down already. I've seen it in one of your comments or either one of your emails that you sent me. Okay, you can email me, Dean. As of the 13th last week, I'm 9 months. Oh, that's right, Bill Kellum. Playing it day by day, huh, Bill? Packers off to a good start. Yeah, they are. Scares me to death. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's hard for me to watch because I remember, man, cheapers. I mean, they could have a team down and it'd be 30, and the other team would get a first down. We go down there and beat them. It scares me to death. But I try to hang in there. I holler and scream. I have to go down to the bedroom to watch it. May, and I put 20,000 miles on my car and made 10 flights. No kidding. Man, I retired 3 years ago and I probably ain't put 15,000 miles on my car. We don't go nowhere. Drive around town. It's been to Carolina once or twice. And we run down to the beach one time. And that's it. We didn't put we probably don't put 10 or 12,000 miles on between the two of our cars, my truck and the baby's car in a year. Cowboy for all of our coworkers that passed and never made it across the retirement finish line. You know what? Maybe we should do something like that. Well, Labor Day would have been a great day to do that. We might do that once a year. On Labor Day, it'd be a good idea. You know what? Let me write that down. Because yeah, that's a good idea. Uh, that's a good idea. I never thought about that. You guys are all right, but Stuart, there you go. I appreciate that, man. I didn't think about it. I would have. Well, once you asked, I probably could have put it in the show notes here after we closed off tonight. I could have went back and added it to the show notes. Will you be rooting for this weekend, Packers or Buzz's team? I'm going to root for the Packers. I don't care if they're playing the local high school team. Win or lose, I got to go for them. Whoever they're playing against, anyways. So yeah, uh, Cleveland's going to have a rough year. It looks like they looked like they was pretty good there for a while last week. I thought, anyways, but they just I don't know. Life is good, sure is, Roxy. Do you have a merch store? No. I uh I actually signed up with one of them companies that started me a website and come up with a storefront and had t-shirts and hats and junk in it, but it's a drop ship thing where they fill on demand, like Buzz was talking about on his. But I don't want to do all that mess, man. It'd be too much like a job for me, and it ain't worth it to me. So, Danny, hope you are well. I'm doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. The ragweed's out now, so that in the morning time I wake up and like to sneeze my head off all for about an hour. So, but at least it ain't backing up on me. You know how you get that sinus pressure up in there? That hurts, man. But at least I ain't got that. I've seen too many pass before they could retire. That's one of the reasons it jumped out at 61. That's exactly why I think people ought to go as soon as they can, if they're able and they want to. You know, that's kind of one of the reasons I left. You know, I didn't need a job any longer, so I didn't need to be there. You know, so I figured, why stay? If I don't need to be there, I quit. You know, it's a hard decision to make, man. But you know, it boils down. I'd rather come to the house and sit on my butt than I would rather put up responsibility of a full time job and everything that entails. All the buttholes out there, you know what I mean? It's just work environment is nothing like it was when we started out years ago. And I'd hate to have to start out now, but if I was starting out now, it would be all I knew, so it probably wouldn't be so bad on me. True Packers fan. Yeah, that's the truth. I don't care if we ain't got a shot in the world. We're gonna beat them. That's what I'm gonna say to the beginning of the game, anyways. They picked the wrong week to play us. I don't know, man. But yeah, I pull for them all the time. So, oh, what about that backyard brawl, West Virginia and Pitt, man? That was a great game, man. And I thought West Virginia's gonna lose that sucker. That was great, man. I enjoyed the snot out of that one too. Last weekend was a great weekend for football for me. I think Clemson got beat though. That's a baby's team. She likes Clemson. So yeah, the Vikings gonna have a rough year, looks like Dean. But man, it's early. You can't tell nothing, man. And Packers always get hurt about the eighth game or so, and then they tank at the end. They have a rough time with injuries. One good thing they got going for them is a young team now. So they have a few young players as backup. You know, they're not very savvy yet, but they're young, willing to learn, they're fast, and I don't know. That's just me hoping. Detroit looked good last week, so They didn't show up against the Packers, but they sure showed up last week. So you always got to worry about them. And the Bears, they ain't looking too good yet either. I didn't get to see them play, but you know, they always scare me. They just do, man. They can come in the Lambeau Field and beat us 50-0. Seems like anytime they want to. I don't care how good a team we got. But lately we've had them on the rope, so it's about time for them to start winning some now. What do you recommend to keep critters off collard greens? 7 does, Cole. And that's what we use anyways. This time of year, we don't really have much trouble with them. I've never had too much trouble with the bugs starting this time of year. Now, last year I let mine carry over through the year. I grew mine all year last year. And summertime they got to eat them alive, and that's my fault because I don't keep them dusted or anything. I'm a lazy gardener. I plant it and come back in a few months and pick what's on there. That's pretty much all I do. Once they get established, I don't water them or squat. So, and that's bad for a raised garden because they take a lot more water because they don't get the groundwater like it was if you got a in-ground garden. So, but it's something I've always done, man. So I just keep doing it. College team is seeing a good turnaround. Florida State, that's right, they are. Surprised the heck out of me. I was real worried about Florida State when they went to the ACC. I told the guys at work, I was working over at String Factory when that happened. I told them, I said, hey, man, they ain't going to do nothing but hurt them on the football because ACC is not a football powerhouse. It just isn't. And it did. Them and was it Florida State and Miami, I think, went over there. So, but I figured they'd have a little bit better basketball team, and they did for years. And now their football team's starting to come around again. So, thinking back now, I should have left maybe 2 years ago. You think so, Cole? Do you really? I don't know. Oh, Vince called me the other day. He's thinking about getting out at the end of the 26. So I don't know. I mean I could have. I didn't realize that until I guess in 21 when I went and got people to overlook everything. But I wasn't ready, man. I didn't have no problem staying in there. But it just got to be a situation in the plant where I wasn't happy. I didn't want to go in there every day and put up with everything. It's not so much a job, it's just everything that goes along with having a job that I just got tired of. I didn't have to put up with it, so I got out. After I thought it over really well, I realized I was a slave to insurance. I'm stubborn, so I decided then I'm out. Yeah, well, insurance keeps a lot of people in there because it's expensive, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. But it's one of them, catch 22 things, man. You gotta have it because I wouldn't want to go without it. I can tell you that. That first year I was retired, I mean, I had over a $30,000 bill. I mean, I could have paid it, but how much damage would it have done to me at age 80 as far as my finances go? It saved me a lot of money. Now I pay through the nose for it every month, but it's if I ever need to use it, I don't have to pay anything or very little. So actually, that $30,000 bill paid them paying that probably next year before my premiums cover that. I pay like $8,000 a year. Seven, seven, 84. Let's give it 9. So sometime next year before my premiums will cover what that one bill was. And they don't count blood pressure medicine or doctor's visits or anything else. So it's baby from South Carolina. Yes, sir. Right about right here. Right there. See, mama's from right here. Mama's from Dillon County, and Connie's from Marlboro County, the next county over. Hope things are going well. Alton Bond Jr. They're going beautiful, boss. How's it on your end? It's going, things going pretty good here. I've been busy. I got we got things going on down here. Well, I spent last week. I spent last week painting the bathroom. Now get this. It's a 5 foot by 4 foot bathroom. That's the one we had to replace the tub in. That's our full bath. That's all we you you can touch both sides of the wall this way here and don't even have to stretch your arms all the way out. But it took me 4 days to paint that sucker. That's what retirement would do to you. And then I had to put everything back up. We had to take everything down. And Connie does the sheetrock work. She does the finishing of it. She's good at it, and I don't have the patience for it. So we had to repair all the little nail holes and little imperfections in the walls and stuff. And then I went to painting. But I did 2 coats on all the walls, 2 coats on the trim, and 2 coats on the ceiling. So I would paint, and then I'd let it dry overnight. And then I'd go back and put the second coat on the next day. And I would start the trim work maybe or whatever. So, but I ain't hitting on squat since I retired, man. I got no motivation to do nothing, you know. I do it all, but it's not high on my priority to do it the only thing, I can tell you that. I want to get on that deck and foundation before the winter gets here. I like to paint in the fall and the spring, not too hot. Yeah, Dean, I was the same way. I really wasn't ready. And honestly, when I went at 57, I mean, I've said it before. I felt bad about leaving in. You know, when we were growing up, man, you worked if you were able to, and you had a job. You know, and if you didn't, you looked at it as a bum. Sorry, you know, well, he ain't good for squat. You know, and so there weren't nothing wrong with me. I was healthy. I could do anything just about. But instead, I chose to come home and sit on my butt. Then that bothered me. But I'm over it now. Doing good ain't at work. That's right. Can you tell a big difference in cooling and noise since you got your new side? No, it ain't been hot enough. We've had an early fall. We got leaves already falling. You know that big maple I got out there, it falls early every year anyways. But I've noticed down in town with them I can't think of the name of them right offhand, but I can't think of the name of that tree. But I mean, they're about all gone. They're turning yellow and dying on the trees and falling off. It's not going to be a very pretty year this year, I don't think, for fall drives. But and I don't know why they got plenty of water this year. We had quite a bit of rain this year, but now we had the windows put in years ago, probably 12 years, maybe late earlier than that. And doors had new door put on the front years ago. But it's a small house, and it doesn't really take much to heat and cool the place anyways, and it's pretty well insulated, so as of right now, no, probably won't be able to tell nothing about the cooler, the heating until, January probably when it's real cold and we'll have to use the heater because we have electric everything in here, uh, heat and cool, and then stove, water heater, and everything. So ours tends to run a little bit high, always has, because Connie was stay at home mom, and so we always had somebody here 24/7. And so there was no cutting it back when you went to work and cut it back higher when you got home stuff. So I'm 53, hopefully less than 5 years to go. That's a good lookout, boss. 5 years beforehand is perfect timing. Gives you plenty of time to make adjustments, to grow a little bit, and to plan stuff, man. You know, I mean, it's perfect because you got plenty of time to make adjustments and to learn more. Really, I think it's key to understand your withdrawal uh, or your distribution rules for your 401 because everybody's ain't the same, and that really give me a little bit of problem. Not much. It's 3 minutes. I figured out what I wanted to do, but it wasn't what I was expecting. So yeah, yeah, that's about right, Martin. You know me too well. I'd put on it was a pair of black Dickies, and they were kind of nice. They weren't wore down like a lot of my clothes are. And sure enough, I backed into the wall, got it all running right up the backside of my leg there. And I always wear a bad T-shirt and a work T-shirt's what I call it, because I know I'm going to get paint on it. But and you'll see it on some of the T-shirts I wear on here. There'll be white paint or green paint or something splotched all around different spots. So those are the ones I usually wear. But I didn't wear a shirt when I was back in that bathroom. Too hot in there. The doors closed. Out in another year, you'll be a bum, huh? That wall has been waiting on me for 7 months. Man, I hear you. I absolutely hate painting indoors. I just don't like it. You have to be too good with it, you know. When you're outside, you painting a house or a deck or something, you can be a little sloppy and you ain't ruining none. But when you're doing that and you're having to cut the corners in and all that stuff, you got to take your time on that stuff. I do because I ain't that good at it, you know. But it's yeah, that's why I hate painting indoors. I will, but it's not my favorite thing to do. I can tell you that. But we've had bad weather the past 2 weeks. Last week, I think it come in Monday night, rained Tuesday and Wednesday, and kind of got out of here on Thursday. Is that right? But no, come in Tuesday night last week, Wednesday and Thursday. I started that Wednesday, and right Wednesday and Thursday. Yeah, it started running its way out on Thursday. This week it come in on Monday night. Yeah, yesterday and Tuesday it was kind of rainy and cool too. We hit 80 in Wisconsin. The leaves just started changing. No kidding. I uh I don't think it's been it might have got in the 70s today. Tuesday and Wednesday it did. It was in the 60s. That little bit of cool weather and it's damp and the rain. It sucked. I mean, it's too early for fall. And fall won't get here till probably November, I reckon. We'll probably have some cold days in October. But I think our average first frost is sometime in November, I believe. So I don't know. But I'm looking forward to it, man. I like the change of the seasons, you know. It's nice to get the first few crisp air days, man. It kind of wakens you up, same way that spring does me. Them first few warm days, kind of gives me an extra step in my step, and I'm always excited for it. And the same for now. I like the little cooler temperature in the fall. Only thing I don't like about it is it means the winter's coming, and I don't do well in the cool weather, man. But I do better now because I ain't got to go out in it if I don't want to. I just sit right there in the chair. Steve's next project: change the anode rod in your water. No, ain't never gonna happen, Doc. Ain't never gonna do that. I'm gonna get me another water heater if whenever it goes. I don't fool with a water heater. Never have. But nah, honestly, man, we've had such good luck with water heaters. I don't think it makes any difference. A lot of times they tell you not to even flush your water heater now. So, I mean, I never did before, anyways. So, but nope, that's not something I'm going to do, boss. Did you keep the two-tone exterior colors? For right now, they are. I got to wait for kind of decide what color she wants to paint. If she wants to, trim it out in white, or if she wants to go. We used to go the same color as the house, the side. A lot of people trim it out in white, because you have white across the gutters and white down below. But I kind of like it's a small place, so if you paint it in siding colors, it kind of makes it look a little bigger from the outside, from the road. And the backside, now the backside of my house is probably 4 foot high off the ground. On this end, on that end up there, it's only a block, and it's a block around the other side, around the house, the side and the front. But on this end down here, it's probably about 4 foot high. Not quite so high on the front end. Only about maybe 2.5 feet high. So so I'll paint it. It don't take long to do that, and I ain't gotta be no particular with it. And just slap paint on it. So I don't mind that at all. I remember I used to paint the whole house outside the house in 4 days. But that was years ago, man. I was full of piss and vinegar then. It'd take me half a day to get the ladder put up now. We'll keep it on the list. Yeah, it's on the list. I got a ton of stuff I like to get to, man. I just, I dream a lot. A lot of stuff I like to get to. A lot of stuff I like to do. But that's just it. It's a dream. I'll never get to it. I'll never do it. I kind of figure, man, I'm 60, almost 60 now, man. If I ain't done it by now, it's because either I ain't want to, it ain't been that important to me. I'll never get to it. So I'm just too busy now, man. Too busy relaxing. That's the good thing about retirement, man. You can kick back whenever you want for as long as you want. Nobody, I mean, you ain't got nothing that's pushing you. And I love it. I ain't gonna lie. Started as Westinghouse water heater in '66. No kidding. Man, I don't think we've had one that long. Man, I thought about getting on one of those constant hot water heaters installed, but I talked to because Mama had to get hers installed too, about the same time we had this one installed. I think hers went bad right after, either just before. And I tried to talk to her about it too, but we all decided not to. It's just easier the way it is now. It's not near as expensive. I think those things are pretty expensive compared to a regular water heater. But anyways, hey man, I got a guy CW. I don't know what his name is. He's been emailing me. He started a channel called Real Retirees Uncut, I believe is the name of it. He sent me a he's wanting me to answer. He's going to send me some questions he wants me to answer and make a video for him so he can put it on his channel. Because that's what he does. He goes around and interviews real retirees, people that are retired, and just give you an idea how average people, most people are going to retire, how it actually is, you know, because you hear so much about it, and it ain't nothing like all them horror stories they tell you out there. I mean, for some people it is, man, but that's the minority, and so probably in another week or so, I'll get that video together and send it to him so he can post it on his channel. You guys keep an eye out for it. I'll let you know if it shows up, and you can see me see me on somebody else's channel for a while. But he's got a lot of good questions. He sent them to me the other day when I decided to take Social Security and why and stuff like that. So stuff I've talked about on here before, but I think it'll help his channel a little bit. He's brand new, just started. Pull some amps. On demand, water heater doesn't have. Leave you with any hot water. That's true too. And that come in handy. What was that? I think that was the year we had the hurricane up here. Was it Isabel come through? I think. But the kids were little. And we dropped them off at a friend of ours over here across the road because they had power. We didn't have any power. I let them play and enjoy some TV and stuff for a little while and play with their grandkids, what it was. Me and the baby come home. And both of us was dreading going in and taking a shower. It's first shower in a couple of days. So I said, "Go ahead, baby, you can take it." She says, "Nah, you go ahead," because she wasn't looking forward to it any more than I was. So I went ahead and jumped in there. And I cut on the hot water just for kicks. And it wasn't warm. It was kind of room temperature, but it wasn't freezing cold like like it is when it comes out the daggone spigot. And so I got to take a halfway decent shower. But that was the last of the water, warm water. She gave me heck for that when I told her about it. I said, "Hey man, I give you the first opportunity." Yeah, they still need maintenance, and that's what the fella told us. And so I decided against. I said, "Heck, man, if it needs a little maintenance, ain't what good's it do me?" And I'm afraid it's not going to be. It's not constant. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it heats it when it goes through that little unit, but time it gets to the shower, and that depends on how cold the daggone water is coming out. In the wintertime, the water coming out of the ground is a lot colder. So I don't think it's going to heat it as hot. So I kind of questioned it and I decided against it. Is your water heater up in the attic? No, ours is right here behind these doors right here. This is where our wash machine and dryer is at. And the water heater's right on the other side over yonder. Uh Depending on the house going down the street there, they are. Because some of them are a lot higher in the back than ours is. My neighbor right here, theirs is up underneath the house. And couple of houses down, you go down there, and they're up under the house too. But they have them little squatty ones, about like that. Ours is full size, they 4 or 5 feet tall, and probably that big around or whatever. But ours are here, right in the utility room right there. It's a closet. If you go on fishing and taking the kayak out. No, I brought that kayak home. My buddy went down to Alabama. He said, "Hey man, I can come by and get that thing anytime I want it." He come checked on me when I injured my back, and I told him why I hadn't come and got it. He said, "Just come on over and get it anytime you want it. Grab the paddles and the life preserver and everything." He said, "You can keep it." He says, "Try it up." Well, after I healed my back up, and I wanted to catch a decent day and go out there, but I just never got to it. So I had it. It was laid up against the shed there for about 3 weeks. I never got around to it. And that sucker was heavy. It's one of them sit on top, and it was, I don't know, probably 3 foot wide. And it was 12 foot one. And so I mean, I didn't want to. I just never got around to it. So I took it back to him, telling him about it, because he's had that thing for 3 or 4 years, and it ain't never been in the water yet. He's got two of them. He's got one of them that you sit in, and he's got that one there that you ride on top with. And but it's got to be stable as heck, man. As wide as it is, and it's like a double hull bottom on it. But you're supposed to be able to stand in it, but I don't know. I wouldn't try that. Not first off, anyways. But I told him, nah, man. I says I'll wait till next summer and go ahead and get started on it. This was a bad summer for me. I didn't get to anything hardly that I wanted to. I started off late in the spring, and got a cold. That put me a couple of weeks behind. Then I had to deal with Mama's estate, cleaning out the house and everything, and I just never got started on anything. I didn't do the first tour this year of any of the parks around here that I wanted to get on, because I ended up in Petersburg last year. That was the last battlefield I took a tour of. I wanted to get up north of Richmond, go up towards Cold Harbor, and over on the west over there, the western part. Just it might be 30 minutes or an hour from here where them parks are at, but I just never got to it. So, but it's been a bust of a summer as far as the activities and stuff I really wanted to do. But yeah, it's what happens, right? Life happens. So but the fishing, yeah, I really hadn't gone as much as I wanted to this year. Nowhere near what I wanted to. But I've had stuff I've had to do. Now I have been quite a bit. Um uh I don't think, but this year it's like the daggone tomatoes last year. There ain't no size to them. I hadn't caught you know, anything major this year. Last year I did pretty good with size wise, but I've caught a bunch of stuff this year. But it's little bitty guppies, man. The brim's been pretty good, probably about the size of your hand, and the perch. But the catfish have been. I ain't caught nothing big this year. Nothing over, I don't know, 3 4 pounds maybe, maybe. So, but the stripers, I hadn't checked my book. I don't know when they start. I think it starts in October. Season comes in. So I want to go down the. They always tell me to go down there to the Appomattox Manor down there on their land there and fish the Appomattox down there. That it's pretty good fishing for stripers, but I ain't never caught none down there. I would get hung up down there. They put a lot of riprap around the shoreline, and all the trees fall in the water right there. And but I always go down there every year and try to get me a couple anyways. I catch all the stripers I catch is from Dutch Gap, same place I go all the time. So had the annual doctor appointment today and took blood work. I want to have to recheck my just make sure I have enough. The budget number is so good. I was just telling the baby today I could supposed to go for my checkup. I just ain't ever never set the appointment, so I need to go. Because I just got my last refill on my medicine, so I'm gonna have to go before I go need any of that again. So it probably within the next week or so. But I don't know. I don't think they're gonna be any good this year. Last year I had good numbers, but past 2 years I had real good numbers. But I hadn't been able to keep up with stuff this year like I was last year, the last 2 years. I just haven't. What suggestions do you have for someone that's 5 years from now? Use calculators all the time to look at numbers. What do you like to hear from someone that pulled it off? Yeah, man, I don't know. I think the first thing to do, man, is to decide what kind of daggone retirement you looking at. Is it a reasonable, you know? It's kind of hard to prepare for something you don't have no idea what you're looking at. You know, if you want to do a lot of extensive travel, you need to really think of how much that you're going to do. Is it going to be a constant thing? Is it just going to be for the first couple of years? Or you plan on doing it the whole time you're retired? You plan on moving somewhere else? You want to take up any new hobbies? I think that helps a lot. Uh, and make sure you keep on your numbers. And the one thing I didn't do was make sure you adjust your budget every year. I set my budget in 21 and I never adjusted it. Now I did well, I put a big buffer in there too, though. So, and I had a couple automatic raises. So even if I went over my budget when I paid the truck off, see, I got that money back because that was guaranteed, dedicated to nothing but a truck payment. So I've been able to stay within the same budget I originally set back in 21. But yeah, try and make a realistic budget and keep updating it every year. And that's another thing too about your Social Security. You're going to be adding that stuff in. You need to update that every year because it changes year to year too. So those are important. This far out. As you get closer, pay attention to your cash flow. You know, do you have enough cash to get by on if you have to for a few months or a couple of years or whatever makes you comfortable? Because the market doesn't going to do what it's wanting. Ain't nothing we can do about it. Just control how we deal with it afterwards. You know, and keep an eye. You know, research your daggone insurance too. If you can get it from work like I did, you're lucky. But there's a lot of options out there. And check into them. And a lot of them, I didn't really qualify for anything, but taking it from work or either Obamacare, so I took the one from work. Hey, boss, you're welcome. CW. That's at CDUB 357. That's um that video I'm gonna make for that fella. About them questions he sent me about retirement, Social Security when I decided to take it and stuff like that. So I'm gonna get on that. Well, I can say that. I don't know if I am. I'm gonna make an honest effort to try to get on that this weekend and send it to him. So it'll probably be a week or so before he puts it up on his channel. Uh, was that? I can't remember now. Retirees uncut, something like that. I said it earlier. Might put it down in the show notes when this goes off. Real Retirees Uncut. That's the name of it. Almost missed the whole thing. Oh, we'd have waited for you, Angela. 2 years out stat cash. Yeah, that's an idea too. Put that cash away, man, if you can. It's nice to have that, man. When things go south, man, it's just it's a sleep aid to you, man. You ain't got to worry about what stuff does, and you can use it. It's dry powder you can use if things do tank. You can buy in. You can buy low. You know, it, you just can't beat having some cash, man. You just can't. I don't think. Know your monthly expenses. Yep, you're correct to keep an eye on that budget. Insurance, taxes, expenses change. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And it's they don't change much year to year, but over a span of 5 years, there's going to be a big difference in how much you think you're going to need. That's all I can think about right now, man. But maybe if I come up with anything else I think would be helpful, I'll give you a shout about it. But I mean, it's a cash flow thing, man. Is your outgo more than your income? You know, it doesn't matter where you get your income from or where your outgo goes, as long as they at least match or you got more in than you got out, more than anything. I mean, that's really what it boils down to. So and avoid having debt. Yeah, you're correct on keeping on. Yeah, I'm wishy-washy on debt. Now, when we had the work done to the house, we paid for that. But when we need a new car, I'm gonna get that straight off of debt. I'm gonna take a note for that. Simple as that. Some things I'm funny about, and buying a new car outright, or even a good used car outright. I mean, I just ain't gonna do it. I don't care whether it's right or wrong financially. I ain't doing it. That's a pile of money to come off of. I can put a few dollars down on it and take a note for a few years and pay it off in a couple of years short. I got the money in the bank in case I need it, and I'm still making the payments. I can pay the car off if I need to, but I'm not going to pay it straight out. I just ain't. Debt don't scare me like it does a lot of people. Now I ain't gonna go out there and get $50,000 in credit card debt or not. But for car loan, I'm going to take it. Simple as that. Just makes things easier for me, and it makes it available for me to sleep at night, knowing I ain't down 30 grand from the start for purchasing it, and then the market goes down another 10 or 15 or 20%. That's the thing for me. But hey, man, as long as you got a handle on it, you can pay it. Like if something was to happen, I could take the money and pay it. Could buy it off, pay it off. But if it doesn't, then I pay it till it gets down to a certain amount, and then or I get tired of making the payment, and then I pay it off. That's the way we've always done it. We've never carried one to term. So, but I mean, hey, man, if you got low expenses and low debt, there's there's not much problem in retiring. You know, not for us, it wasn't, anyways. You keep an eye on them two things and figure out where you're gonna get your income from. And don't forget to use Social Security. A lot of people don't want to use that. I never did for years because all I heard growing up is they weren't going to be there for when I got there. Well, I'm knocking on the door, dadgummit, and it's still here. Nobody can tell me where it's going. You know, it's a politician's job is to get reelected. Simple as that. They're not going to get reelected and keep that gravy train rolling by putting millions of seniors out in the poorhouse. It'll change, but how, nobody can tell you right now. Yeah. So, I mean, you got to plan with the tools you got. And right now we got that. Don't forget to use it. Because when I get to Social Security age, man, we'll be living straight off Social Security. Well, that pension I got, I'll be like everybody else, except I'll have some money in the bank for emergencies or for taking a trip or whatever. I'll have extra. But our day-to-day living and most of our needs and wants are going to be taken care of strictly from Social Security. You know, real retirees uncut. That's right. Talking to real people who've already retired. That's right. Actually, get a better deal on a car price with financing. You might. I don't know. I mean, we buy so few, and most of the ones we have bought are from individuals. Now, the car and truck we got out there, and the last car we had, we bought from. So it's 3 out of all the cars we had, we bought them from a dealer. But they were all secondhand. They were all used vehicles. Every one we got. Never bought a new car. I can't come off the money for a new car, man. That's just a lot of money. I mean, that's ridiculous, man. Borrow is slave to the lender. It's a proverb. Yep, that's the truth. I'm gonna have to be a slave if I had to buy a new car. I mean, it's just all it boils down to. I ain't doing it, man. I just slap ain't doing it. If it's 10 grand or something, yeah, I might go ahead and pay it. But I mean, you can hardly get a halfway decent used car now for 10 grand. You got to be kidding me. You know, thing's 15 years old and they want $30,000 for them. I mean, they think it's made out of daggone gold. It ain't nothing but metal that's going to rust or plastic that's going to break. It's just ridiculous. Cash flow, baby. At least that is what I follow. Debt free is freedom, just my opinion. Yeah, man. Hey, a lot of people are like that. I paid the house off. The only debt I carried into retirement was that truck payment, and I knew that was going to be. I had 2 built-in raises in my retirement. The first 5 years of my retirement, I had 2 automatic raises. I didn't do anything for. Just get old enough to get them. And the first one was when I paid the truck off because I knew that money was dedicated for that truck. So I've essentially raised my budget without having to do a thing by $300 every month. You know, and next year I'm going to take my other pension. I'm going to clear about $400 on that one. So I'm getting a $5,000 a year raise next year, and I ain't had to do nothing. Just reach 60 years old. So I could wait and get more money, but I ain't going to. Underrated. Don't forget the proverbs. The rich rule over the poor. Yeah. Hey man, it's a good idea not to get any if you can. You know, the more you owe, the more you need to go in the end of retirement. Simple as that. It's just basic math. But some people can't, you know. But debt is no problem if you can handle it. It's a tool. Without it, businesses use it all the time, to buy stuff they don't need or they need but they can't afford or whatever. Credit's a good thing. It's just another tool for building wealth. It allows you to buy something without using your money all at once, paying it over time. I never could have bought this house without it, you know. But we didn't carry it the full term either. So depends on how you work it, man. You know. I mean, I don't recommend anybody go out there with a stick to deck. I don't think they'll have any. But as long as you use it strategically, I don't see where it's any problem at. Now I wouldn't go out there and get piles of it, like I said. Don't have every credit card you got maxed out. owe on the house and the car, the kids' teeth and everything else, One bill, I don't think, and I mean, hey, I mean, I don't know, man. I- I'm not worried about it. Yeah, Stephen Buzz Rock. Yeah. Good evening from Charlestown. How you doing, Tina? My little lady over here, her sister lives down around Raleigh, North Carolina. Her husband is in his 90s, and she called my little lady up here. Says, "You ain't gonna believe what that fella done did." He had gotten in his car and he drove up to Charleston from Raleigh to or Charlestown, I'm sorry, for a gamble at 96, man. She said she was so upset, fit to be tied. I got to laughing her telling me that story. But it's good he's healthy enough to do it, man. A lot of people at 96 ain't got a license anymore. $485 from my mom at 17 to get my old 68 Chevy truck fixed. Paid her off in a couple months. Yeah, you know, I you know, I mean, it's not ideal, but if you can afford, if you can swing it, go in. Man, you go in debt free, man. It just makes things easier on you. But if you got the money in the bank to pay it off, if you have to at any second, it don't even feel like it's not a ball and chain around your neck like it is them guys out there having send their whole check into daggone. They get it today and tomorrow everything goes to credit card bill or car bill and house note or whatever. It's a big difference in it, in the way you feel. That's why it doesn't bother me to carry one. Because I know, hey man, if the guy gets nasty with me, I just go in there and pay him off, tell him shut up. You know? So you know, and I carry it until until I'm not ready to deal with it anymore and I pay it off. I get tired of sending it in to him every month or whatever. Everything's got two sides. I think it's better not to have any, but I'm going to carry one. I can tell you that. Maybe we'll do a video on it. Appreciate all thoughts and opinions back there. Yeah, man, you ought to do a video on it. Hey, man, it's all open territory out there. And anytime somebody sees a death video, man, they'll jump on it, man, because they're curious about it. That collab like Dwayne and Joe. Yeah. He's like 6'4" or something like that. He'd be sitting up here. Let's see, get it in here where you can. Yeah, we'll go this way here. He'd probably be sitting up here like this. We'd have to have two cameras. Financed the truck for the better price, then paid off 6 months. I don't think I've ever kept a loan for. Yeah, you know, yeah. Yeah, man. There's a lot of stuff I don't really care about. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't. None of it really bothers me. Credit doesn't bother me. Daggone interest rates don't bother me. It just it's stuff I don't think about. I don't have too much control over, and I deal with it when it comes. You know what the market does doesn't really bother me. I thought it would, but I understand how the game's played, and I expect all that stuff. Inflation. Yeah, sure, I'm ticked off. I got to pay $75 for a gallon of gas, but it just it doesn't stay that high long. You know what I mean? It never goes back to what it was, but it does drop a little bit. It ticks me off at the time, pay all that money for eggs and stuff, but we deal with it just like we always have, man. You know, we cut back here and there, or we don't get it, or whatever. eventually things ease off, or I get a little bit more money, and we go back just like we always did. I got too much going on to be worried about all that mess, man. And I don't honestly, I don't think about a lot of it. Anytime I do a video about something, usually that's about as long as I think about it. I don't know. As I get older, I shrink. Life weighing me down. I seen a cartoon, Beetle Bailey cartoon one time, and Sergeant went in to get his physical. The doctor asked him if his long goal was to get as wide as he was tall. I was just a kid, man, when I seen. I used to like Bailey, Beetle Bailey cartoon. That and Snuffy Smith. I liked him too. But yeah, we at the plant we had a doctor at the plant, and it was a medical office is what it was. Had a nurse's room and a exam room and everything with a bed in there and stuff. And you go in there to get your physicals every year. And he had a couple of pictures up on the wall, had me hanging up on the wall. And the guy had a one guy, he had one big old belly out here, and he was supposed to be standing in front of one of them X-ray machines, taking an X-ray of his chest. He says, "Doc, I am standing with my chest against the X-ray machine." His belly was sitting there. Too funny, Bill Bailey. Yeah, well, it's no telling what I'm gonna say. I like Beetle Bailey. You ever watch No Time for Sergeant with Andy Griffith? And they put him as the PLO, permanent latrine orderly. And he's in there shining them toilets all night. And he sets up a plunger so the toilet seats raise up. And when he gets inspected the next day by the general, he stomps in that plunger and the toilet seats stand up and salute him. Mr. Drysdale played the daggone general in that. Well, I don't think, can't remember his name is, but he got Mr. Drysdale on the Beverly Hillbillies. That was funny. And he went in to get his physical. I had to check his eyes out. Said the his sergeant asked him because he had to get qualified. Could you read the signs on that? He said, yeah. He said, but didn't make much sense to me. Ignobbin and Galump Gump. He says, Sergeant told him you're supposed to read them letters one at a time. He said, didn't make no sense that way either. That's a good show. I like that movie. Every time it comes on the oldies channel, I try to catch it. I'm getting little Debbie on milk cream pie. Them suckers up. Yeah, I know. We just got some. Baby just bought some of them oatmeals the other day. I think we was in the grocery store. I think it was buy one, get one at that time. We don't get many of them things. But I think it was buy one, get one. I think she got a thing of the oatmeal cakes and she got a thing of the nutty bars, the chocolate covered peanut and butter covered cookie thing. Yeah. Mikhail's nail. Yep, sure do. I remember they, they used to wash their clothes in an old drum with a bunch of holes in it, dragging it out in the ocean. And their captain was impressed at how clean their clothes got. So he said, we'll wash them for you and get them clean. And he got hit by a torpedo, so it blew his clothes all over the place. I remember that one. That was good. It was it Ernest Borgnine played the the captain there. Mikhail. Yeah. Sometimes get what you want if you can afford it. Life is short. Yeah. 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 That's the thing, man. It's about there's no rules to it, man. I don't care what you see on here, you know, how these people here are doing it or how these people over here are doing, or see your neighbor across the street how they working it. Retirement is yours, man. You earned it. You got the right to do it however you see fit, no matter what anybody else thinks you ought to be doing it. I mean, hey, mine's as low key as you can get. That's what I wanted, and that's why to me, retirement's not as big a deal as it is to a lot of people. It's it's not as costly as it is to a lot of people. I thought I was way behind when I retired. You listen to everybody out there, and I ended up probably doing better than a lot. But you got no idea till you get out in there. You really don't, man. Retirement's ever changing. You got to keep an eye on things and adjust as needed as you go. You never hear that. Oh, we set this plan here and let it go. Nah, it don't work that way, man. Just because you can draw 4% this year, don't mean you can draw 4% next year, or 5%, or whatever it is. Yeah, 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 yeah. I see that one too. Retirement is underrated. He hits his hand with that daggone Novocaine needle. That's good. Yeah. That's a good one. That's a classic. And Tim Conway telling the elephant story on what Mama's Family. Man, he was hilarious. Cloudy California, all-time favorite Green Bay Packer. Does it have to be somebody I actually saw play? I'm real partial to Jim Taylor. Real partial to Jim Taylor. Never seen him play. Not, not actually play. No, I mean I've seen tapes and stuff. I'm real partial to him. And Bart Starr. I'm a big Bart Starr fan. He never would have been drafted now because he got drafted so late then. Is that right? That's what I'd always heard. So he went to Alabama. I like Jim Taylor. He went to LSU. But yeah, I'm a big Jim Taylor fan. That's right. We drop a lot of expenses when we retire from work, including deductions from our paycheck and saving for retirement. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I you do, you do. It's a different world, man. It's that's why I think it's a good idea to understand the difference between what you make and what you bring home. You ain't trying to replace what you made. You're trying to replace what you brought home, and that's a big difference. Because what you brought home is what you lived on. You know, and it doesn't take as much when you retire to bring home nearly the same amount of money because you ain't got all that extra stuff coming out. So, I mean, yeah, I think that's important to keep in mind too. Then come, yeah, 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 yeah. That's it. Yeah, go from savings to spending. Yeah, I have a hard. I tried to do a video about that probably the past 2 months. I just ain't been able to make one. I have. I probably made a dozen of them, but they've probably been 12, 15 minutes long. And I don't like to put one out that long if I don't have to. So, but I think I got an angle now where I can cut back all that stuff. I tend to ramble. I forget where I'm at, and I'm generally thinking when I'm making a video. I don't have a script I go by, so it tends to drag out a lot longer than I like it for. So I usually trash them. they go over 10 minutes. As a general rule, I try to trash them. Sometimes I'll put one out, but it's rare. I like to hang in about 8 to 10 minutes. But I thought that was going to give me a lot of problem. I really did. And I, I, I got to admit that first year it was a little hassle, about the first 6 months or so. But honestly, our spending problem has nothing to do with being worried about running out of money or long-term health care or going from saving to spending. Our spending problem is it's the way we are. You know, it's it's a habit. We had to do it when we was younger to save in order to have anything, and we couldn't afford anything. When you got a couple of kids, newly married, just starting out, and a mortgage and everything, man, you ain't got money to put away. We always tried, but sometimes we couldn't. But them habits you develop then become who you are. It's not actually it's not a habit no more. You don't do something like that for 40 years and it still be a habit. You know, it's like, putting a patch on your clothes. A lot of people will never do that anymore. Cutting your britches off or cut-offs and cutting your sleeves out of your shirts like I do. A lot of people will trash it. But you buy stuff, you use it till it wears out, you fix it and use it again. It's not something that a lot of people are willing to do anymore. And to us, that's not saving a dollar. There's nothing special to it. It's just what we always did, and it's what we learned when we was kids, and so that's our problem. Because I got to be careful. I don't cheat ourselves on anything. If we need a new tire, don't go out and buy retreads. You know what I mean? I don't know if the retreads you can buy them anymore here, but I bought a plenty of them when I was younger. We can still get used ones right down the road here, but go ahead and put the daggone new tire on it. And that's hard to. It's hard to change who you are, and that's who we are. I get it honest. Mom, and dad were the same way, and Connie and her family were the same way. It's what we knew. We carried it on. It's not actually a habit. It's who we are, and that's our spending problem. We got to be careful not to cheat ourselves. That was kind of the purpose of me go ahead and get inside and then gonna guard, so I ain't got to take care of that stuff no more. You know, I don't know. Good book die with zero. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I hear that a lot, man. I've never read the book, but to me, I think it's going to be a lot harder to attain that than people think it is. It's just not a. It's just. I mean, if you live below your means, it's not a possibility. And I can't see spending a dollar just because I can. You know what I mean? To me, that I don't understand it. But hey, man, it's a good idea. It teaches you to be. From what I understand, that book teaches you how to live a full life, not just retirement. Go ahead and enjoy yourself now. Save a little bit, so when you retire, you still got a little bit. And that's pretty much what we did. And that's why we really have no desire to spend any more than we do right now. There's nothing out there that excites me enough to put a dollar down on that we don't already get. I don't believe all the hype about how much we need for retirement. This is coming from same folks who make a fee. Yeah, yeah. And that's another thing. You gotta look at the source. A lot of people trying to get your money. There's a lot of people out trying to get your money, man. You're the best steward of your money than anybody ever gonna be. So you got to pay attention to that stuff, whether they're scamming you or whether they just want to make a dollar off of you keeping it with them or whatever. And I ain't putting down anybody's got a pile of money, man. I A lot of people need it, a lot, but I don't think we need quite as much as they keep spitting out there. I just don't believe that because I know very few people that are daggone loaded that are retired. Some of them are struggling now. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, some of them are having a tough time month to month, week to week, but some of them are doing pretty daggone good, you know. And generally, man, from my experience, the ones that are struggling struggled when it was working too. You know, it's who they are. I mean, all I can go off of people I know, and that's the way. It's what. That's why I do what I do. I can't believe how little gas is required in retirement life. Yeah, that was the biggest shocker to me. I never thought about it. But I mean, we don't spend half the gas that we spent when I was working, and I was the only one that left every day. And we don't spend nowhere near the gas every month. Now that truck burns it, and it's got a big old gas tank on the sucker too. But still don't I don't fill it up nowhere near like I used to. And that car out there, it might go a month and we never gets touched. So yeah, yeah, that's a big shocker. My only problem so far has been TASC, the people I pay to pay my co pay them, they do not pay insurance. Yeah, I had trouble with my insurance last year and this year. Is that right? It might have been the first year and this year. They the people that handle it have changed, and ours automatically gets deducted. But when it changes, my information doesn't roll over. And so I get a letter in the mail that says my insurance has not been paid for the month and I need to send them a check. And I had just called them a couple of weeks before that because I knew it was coming up. And they said, "No, you're fine. You ain't got to worry about it." But no. So, I mean, those are pain in the butt to deal with stuff like that. You'd think it's a simple punch of a button, but it's not. Or somebody doesn't do it. Probably on Friday and they're thinking about getting out and enjoy the weekend. But you got to keep an eye on that because they're going. My pension didn't quit taking taxes out on me too. That first year, I went along fine 6, 8 months, and all of a sudden they just figured they weren't going to pay no taxes. I don't know what happened. Somebody hit a button somewhere, and that ticked me off. Had to deal with them. There's so much information out there. You can do a lot of it now. Yeah, you can. You can. If you can quit your COJ, do it. You only have so much time. You can buy a lot with money, but you just can't buy time. And that's the truth, boss. I always say, man, when that time's gone, it's gone. Ain't no getting it back. You can always go back to and find your job of some kind of make you a little money. It might not be what you love, but that time is gone once it's gone, boss. And you can't go back. Well, listen, man. Oh, jeepers. I've kept y'all almost an hour and a half. I'm sorry, boss. Hey, man. Everybody go get you something from Uncle Buzz. Take your picture and send it to him just to play with him. But y'all be good, man. And I appreciate everybody showing up. I try to get better with letting everybody know, but I'm just goofing off on you. I'll be honest with you. So, but y'all take care of yourself, man. Enjoy the week coming up, and let's go pack go. How's that? But y'all take care, man. I appreciate you showing up. We'll talk to y'all later. And live stream.